Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. It's 3 p.m. We're here at the Magaya's Innovation Lab talking about a new product that we're working on to enable filing ABI from your Magaya system. A few technical notes you should see on your GoToWebinar control panel, which is presumably on the right-hand side of your screen, options for questions. So we will take questions in the end, or we will address them in the end, but you can type them in as you go so that by the time we reach the end of our presentation, we already have questions lined up to answer. And who are we today? I am Christian, product manager at Magaya. I'm here with David, who's also a product manager and is specifically also working on the ABI project. And we also have Rodel Diaz here as a consultant and our subject matter expert, who is a customs broker, and he will introduce himself as well and explain the whole project from a user's point of view. So if there are any technical issues or if there's something wrong with the sound or picture at some point, you can also just type in the concerns using the questions option. All right, so let's get started. So the first kind of, just to take a step back and introduce a little bit why we're even doing this project. So over the years, Magaya has been trying to increase its fit for different types of logistics operations and freight forwarding more specifically. And we believe that and we have picked up from the feedback from all of you over the years that the import side is something that needs a little more work than export capabilities. So one of the main motivations behind tackling ABI is to enhance the import capabilities of Magaya as an ecosystem. And then some years ago, we built a smart border integration that a few of you are currently using. And we have in the recent years, we've been doing some analysis and realized that this integration has its limits. And we have decided to build our own solution so we can be more agile in developing it and have full control over it ourselves. So it'll be a Magaya ABI solution built by Magaya, managed and maintained in the Magaya ecosystem. So you will be able to do everything from receiving documentations to customs release using Magaya. So that is, in a nutshell, why we believe that it's a good time for us to build it. There are, other more nerdy IT product-related considerations, like it's a good time to build something that is fresh and using modern web technologies, because a lot of our competitors or other ABI products out there are a little older. And with the ACE migration completed, we believe now it's a good time to build our own ABI solution. So let's get started with something interactive, actually, to check in with all of you. And we have a couple of polls today. So how this is going to work, I'm going to start it, and it will pop up a question on your screen that you can choose answers to. Okay, so I'm launching it now. So the question is, which ABI operations would you like to do with Magaya? And this will allow you to check more than one answer. So if they're all equally important to you, by all means, check all of them. I will let it run for a few more seconds. I see many people have already answered. Okay, so go ahead and select one or more of the following options. Inbound filing, so that's 7512 electronically, that we currently don't support in Magaya, but as part of this project, and you'll see later on the roadmap and in the demonstration, we're going to enable. Then ISF filing, which we currently do support through Magaya, but it's something that we're looking to refresh and rebuild and put in as part of the ABI solution as well. Then I'm guessing that's going to be pretty obvious, entry summary 7501. And then also foreign trade zone, that would be the E214 tally out, and the warehouse management and inventory reports required for the FTC. Okay, so I see that most of you have answered, and I'm going to close that poll in 5 seconds. So if you still want to check some boxes, final chance to do so, and the poll is now closed. Let me show you actually what the results are. So looks like, as expected, the least number of respondents said that they would like to do foreign trade zone. Then we have entry summary, and then almost all of you that answered want to file 7512 electronically, and also ISF. All right, so thank you for this input, and let's continue with the presentation. So we have, for this project, because ABI is, while we have other US customs integrations, ABI is a different kind of monster. It requires a lot more specialized knowledge. So we have actually engaged an external consultant, Rodel Diaz, who's also working at a customer of Magaya, Top Shipping. So Rodel has huge, has a lot of experience, and he's actually, I'm just going to pass it over to Rodel here. I don't have to introduce you. There you go, Rodel.
Thank you, Christian. Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for joining this webinar today. As Kristen mentioned, and I'll start out with one simple question to you all. As a user myself, how many times have you, gone through a software, started working on it, and you realized, and you said to yourself, who created this? So Magaya did just that. They took that answer question to themselves and said, you know what, we're going to create something. Let's make sure that we bring in the industry into it. And let's make sure that we create something with them in mind, and with the experience out there, so that we get it right the first time around. So as you can see there on the screens, my years of experience in the industry, I pretty much have handled quite a lot of different softwares, logistics. So that's what I bring to the table. Pain points with the current ABI solutions, was what I saw beginning with, with the integration between Magaya and Smart Border, was like, it was overwhelming, the user interface, way too many fields. So, you would look up, and then you would have like all of the data elements that you can possibly imagine, even though a lot of them weren't required for the type of process that you were about to do. Another function or another process or pain point would be, cannot reuse the base data file. So how many times have we, have to re-enter data? We file the ISF, and then that doesn't translate into the entry summary, or we file an ISF, doesn't translate to an inbox, or vice versa. So that also as well, taken in mind, create based on that function. Inefficiencies, not productive. One of the things that I told them, it's like, if it takes more than 3 clicks to get to somewhere, it's way too much. You got to reduce the amount of clicks. That was my first number one, priority. Poor reporting. Definitely, we always need to keep everybody informed, and the way things are today with analytics, have to review your data. So much data goes into the input process, where then we can go back and research for compliance purpose, reporting to our customers, overall, their performances or our performances as well. Lacks of visibility. This is a big one, right? Nowadays, with our industry, a lot of the customers are asking for more visibility from us, right? So, what's the status? Where are we at? Is it right here? Is it cleared? Is it on hold? I mean, other government agencies, what's going on? I mean, you name it, right? Definitely something that we need to do better at. And lastly, but not least, lack of integrations with other systems. Sometimes we have a lot of different processes in place, and these systems don't connect, don't talk to each other. So it creates inefficiencies as well, and having to add personnel to keep up with the trends. So what we found was there was room for improvement in the Magaya system, as Christian mentioned. The import part of the Magaya process was lacking. And that was one of the things that we, looked at as a whole as what was Magaya lacking that we can add to or bring into another platform.
Yes, I wanted to chime in here as well that the ABI portal or the ABI product extension to Magaya is not the only thing that we're doing as a scope of this project to cater more to the impart community. We are adding also relevant new features in the core Magaya product itself to help importers be more efficient.
Yep, exactly. Outdated integrations with the Smart Border. No inbound integration. Those of you who have used Smart Border for inbounds, you know that Magaya doesn't talk to Smart Border for the inbound process. And then there was a difficult of use in the process as well. Way too many clicks to get through what we needed to do. And last but not least, the ISF and the AMS module. It was a little bit of outdated. Yeah, it did the work, but it had some lack of missing visibility as far as the messages, or there was no way to be able to query AMS. So you really didn't know if that bill of lading was on file or not. It was properly produced or created, and the messages were flowing through. So limited messages was, definitely the undertaking that was needed to be added more improvements on. I'll pass it back over to you, Chris.
All right.
Thank you.
So Rodel will also be here for questions and answers after we finish this presentation. So, and he has been really invaluable helping us in this project, helping to define and verify the requirements and to really get to a product that fits what the users out there need.
And I think if I can add something else to this, Chris, is that definitely this is the time to bring up, as you will see the demo, this is the right time to bring up any questions, any feedback, any better enhancements of what you see has been created so far, right? So absolutely. There's definitely time for changes in the process.
Yep. And so now I'd like to introduce David Ortega, our product manager for ABI, and he will start by covering the roadmap in a way explaining the large releases or chunks in which we want to get to the entire functionality.
Okay, thank you, Chris. First, I want to thank you all for taking the time to join us here, allowing us to share this product we're building. We're very excited about this ABI solution we have in the works. So the first step, it is the inbound and Magaya extension. We want to provide support for inbound transactions, and so you are able to reuse your Magaya data in your customs filings. We expect to have this ready for the fourth quarter of this year, or maybe the first quarter of 2020. Then, with this infrastructure already tested, we want to go into the entry summary and ISF. And then we want to get to FTCs and WMS. And now we're going to see a quick demo of the product. I'm going to show you now what we're building for the Magaya extension and the inbound. Let's take a look. Okay, so here you're seeing a Magaya shipment. You're familiar with this. And the first thing we added here is on the custom field section, we added a field as an importer of record. Here you can select the importer of record of the shipment to then use it on your filing. Another option that we added on the customs menu, it is the AMS query. And I will show you now how easy it is to query AMS from Magaya. So you can see here on this AMS query, we're bringing the issuer code, the carrier's code of the shipment, and the bill of lading of the master shipment as well. You can do this from master shipment and houses. And then you can click query or air freight. Or air freight as well, yes, right. So you can do it for air shipments and ocean shipments. And here you can see we've built this query results trying to make it human. So once you've done your AMS query, you can proceed and create the inbound transactions. And here on this ABI menu option, we have two options. We have create import shipment and create inbound. We're gonna cover the create inbound workflow later, and then we're gonna create an import shipment. And this means that we're gonna get these two houses that we have on our Magaya shipment to our ABI portal, so we can work from there. So first step, click on create import shipment. Here on this screen, you can select the houses. In this case, we're gonna select them all. And we press continue. And here, before submitting this shipment to the ABI portal, you can review the information. And as you can see here, you have the importer of record information that we pulled from Magaya, origin, destination, routing information, conveyance information as well, cargo totals, and the BOLs. So let's go ahead and submit it. And as you can see here, we have a shipment, an incoming shipment, as we call it in the ABI portal. Again, you're seeing the same information. You can customize this information. It will not reflect on your Magaya shipment. You can work over here. And as you can see on the menu bar, we have jobs. This is what we call incoming shipments and FTC withdrawals. Clients, entities, custom codes, and tools. We're not gonna be covering those in this video, but just to let you know that you'll have all these options from here as well. We have the conveyance information. Here we have lookups, so you can look up Skype codes, you can look up ports, mode of transportations as well, and then the bill of ladings. So here, from this ABI portal, you can also query the AMS. You can select any of these bill of ladings and query AMS. And if you want to change the information or review the information that you have on those bill of ladings, you can do it as well. So you can click here. And we've done our best to create a simple bill of lading, but also to cover as much information as possible. Here you can see you have all the information. All this information is coming from Magaya. So we're avoiding entering the data twice. And we have consignees, foreign shipper. Also, you see terms more related now to customs as the previous IT origin port. In case you have one, you can fill it here. Cargo totals as well, and containers and notified parties. So once you're ready, you can review your job. This is your base file. That is important. That is an important concept, because from here you will be able to create ISF. You will be able to file inbounds for each one of the houses, or for all of the houses, for multiple houses as well. And in the future, you will be able to do FTC work and entry summaries.
Staying in the same base file.
Yeah, staying in the same base file. That's how important this is, because you're going to be reusing all the information. The information that you use in your Magaya shipment, you're going to be able to use it in ISF, in inbound, and in entry summary.
Yes, and one of the major design principles that we made a high priority that we follow is that if you're entering a certain type of file or a certain type of transaction from this base file, that the fields that we show you are only the ones that you need. That we want to move away from endless forms where you only need to, of 100 fields where you only need to fill 11. And so we're really working hard to design the system to be smart so that it's responsive to what you actually need to enter.
Yes, correct. And that is very true, Chris. And also you can see how here on our bill of lading, we also cover multiple sections, right? And the idea is to be able to add more tabs to these sections while you are, let's say, traveling through transactions. So once you get to the inbounds, you will have more, and then on the entry summary, you will have more sections there too. Because that's the idea, make it simple. So yeah, let's say that you're ready to create an inbound for any of the bill of ladings. You can click here, new inbound. Here you select the bill of lading or the bill of ladings that you want to use for the inbound. In this case, we're going to select just one, and then you click on add. Here, this is the inbound. This inbound is related to this incoming shipment now. You can create as many inbounds as you need from one incoming shipment. It is not limited. As you can see here, you're seeing inbound information already. Like in AMS, this means that you're gonna be working with a bill of lading that already exists in AMS, so you won't be creating a new bill of lading. You have your bill of lading table, also the information related to the custom form that is not needed for the transmission of the message, but it is needed for the custom form. Here, this is, I think, a nice feature that we have. So from here, you're able to pick on the job, the incoming shipment details. So if you want to verify any information that you have on that incoming shipment, you don't need to go back to the job, leaving the inbound or opening a new tab on the browser. You can click on the job pick and you can visualize all the information and verify it from here. And then also we have the routing information. This is related to the carriers of the inbound shipment. Here you can fill the information. You even have lookups here to look up the SCAC codes, and you can specify if the carrier is liable. We support up to 4 carriers, right, Ronald?
That's correct. And the reason why you're only seeing one line here is because the system is built smart enough to identify. If you notice, we're creating here as an example an IT, type 61. So the system is built smart enough so it knows that all I need is just one carrier. I don't need 2, 3, or 4, like the maximum. Miami being a port where, we use a lot of the IBEC programs where we have, we have the common carrier, we have the local cartage, we have the dredge, we have the steam shipment, we have the IBEC. So based on the type of inbound you're going to do, the system will be smart enough and give you all the different options that will exist.
Okay. So, and yeah, you can specify here of those 4 carriers, which carrier is liable.
That's correct.
So again, if you're doing a 6102 or 61X6, 63, you can use the export information over here. Then from here you can print a 7512 or transmit the inbound. So let's send that message. Once you transmit it, you'll get a message, a notification on the application saying that you have a new message from CBP. You can click there, and this will take you to the messages tab of the inbound transaction. And if we click on that message, as you can see here, we have a very a simple design for these messages, and that's one of our goals, to make it again simple for the user. That's one of the workflows that's creating, again, that is creating an inbound from an incoming shipment that you created from Magaya. Now we also want to cover, because we know that some of you will like to create an inbound for each Magaya shipment and manage the import shipment information in Magaya. In case you want to do that, what we need to do here is, again, select the importer of record. And on the ABI options here, instead of creating an import shipment, we're going to select create inbound. We're going to go through the same process that before, selecting houses, verifying the information, and here you'll be skipping the job part, the incoming shipment step, because we will create that incoming shipment for you. We're going to relate it to that inbound in case you want to add more BOLs to it later. And you will be able to file the inbound directly from here. Okay, so let's go back to you want to cover anything else here, Chris?
No, I think that's a good overview of what we're planning in our first release. And again, some of you actually have already clicked through this demo as well, because we did send it to the people that had signed up as a clickable prototype. So if you look in your email inbox and you want to take a closer look at this and maybe repeat the steps that David showed just now, then you do have it if you were signed up for the webinar as of yesterday. That's when we sent it, I think. So also I'd like to remind everybody that you have on your webinar control panel on the right hand side questions. So you can type in your questions as we go, and we will start answering them in a little bit. All right, so there's there should be a section there that says questions once you kind of maximize the GoToWebinar panel, and you can just type it in there. All right, so let's go back to our presentation here, and now it's time to get interactive again after this demo. We have one more question to ask from you, and this would be our second poll here. And this is pretty much just to see what's your interest in this project, because as Rodel mentioned earlier, right now is a really good time to step in and say, hey, I have feedback, I have priorities, I have certain complaints maybe with another ABI solution that I'm using right now, or just general questions. So we have actually an email list, and I know some of you are already in it, but we have an email list where we will start posting more and more updates as the project gets closer to launch. And we will also be asking there if you'd be interested in trying out our prototypes and being the first ones to try the actual product as soon as it's ready. So basically, we're building a list of interested participants here. So I see most of you have voted. So basically, this is just a question of yes, do you want to be included and updated, or no, not interested at this point. And we will see who answered what. So basically, if you click yes here, we will just add your email address to our list, and then we will be sending you news about this project specifically. We won't spam you. It will be just about the ABI project, we promise. So if you'd like to stay updated and maybe participate, hit yes on that poll that should be on your screen right now. All right, so a few more seconds. I see most of you have already engaged with this, and I'm closing it in 3, 2, 1, and right now. All right, so quick share. An overwhelming majority of you would like to stay in touch. Thank you, that's great. All right, so a few more slides and we're done, and we're ready for questions and answers. David.
Hey, so one thing to notice here, we are releasing an AMS query very soon. We don't have a date, but that's gonna be coming really soon. So just stay tuned, register, make sure that you don't miss that. This AMS query is gonna be triggered from Magaya Explorer before the inbound. Yes, we're gonna be releasing the AMS query before the inbound. And so the takeaway about this ABI first release, yes, you're gonna be able to query AMS from Magaya Explorer using your shipment data. Easy to use Magaya integration will allow you to reuse your Magaya data for your ABI filings. We're going to provide inbound and inbound closure messages. We didn't show the closure messages over here because it was going to be too much. But yes, of course, we're considering closure messages as part of this first release. The ability to create multiple inbounds from a base file, and the ability to manage clients and other entities as well. So you're going to be later, we can send you another prototype probably, right, Chris, to cover the workflow of the client and the related entities of these clients, how you manage profiles on this ABI solution. And that is it.
All right, so now is the part to take some questions, and we have myself here, David and Rodell, ready to answer any questions that you might have. I don't currently see any questions. So how this works is you should see a little strip with buttons. It probably has a orange arrow, and if you click on that arrow, it will hide or show a panel where you can where you have different sections, and one of those fields available on that side panel should be questions. So if you just type in your question there, we will see it and we will be able to answer. And if there are too many questions and we don't have time to answer all of them, we will get back by email to any remaining questions. So we do have the first question. So who wants to answer this? We have Angela is asking who assigns the bond number for 7512, Magaya, or do we need to have the bond number previously?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Angela. The bond numbers are actually assigned by customs. So the first steps is that you would need to contact with customs to be set up with a filer code. Once you're set up with a filer code, and then they will grant you X amount of VIN bond numbers depending on your needs. You request how many you need, and then they give you those bond numbers. It's a very simple, list document that they sent over, and then that document needs to be provided to Magaya. Or actually, the way it's going to be set up is that ourselves, the user, will be able to upload those numbers into the portal, and you will be able to file in bonds from there.
Yeah, actually, Angela, we're gonna have a functionality on the app settings where you can enter the start ad number and the end ad number, and we'll generate the numbers for you, so you can use them. So we'll create that pool, and you will be able to use them as you create the 7512s.
All right. So I hope that answered your question. We have another question. It's about the demo, I guess, that we saw. We have someone asking if if the AMS query is already available, and if what you saw today is already in a Magaya update. The answer is not yet. This was a kind of a prototype that we were clicking through today, so it wasn't a real Magaya integration yet. We're almost done with a full clickable prototype portal there, and we will, again, if you signed up for email updates, we will let you know exactly when we're planning to release that. But it's this is what we were showing today is still not live. It's the near future. All right. So do we have any more questions? Again, to type in questions, just use the questions panel on your GoToWebinar control panel on the right hand side. When you click on the arrow, you should see it. All right, so let's see here. All right, looks like for now we don't have any other questions coming in, so that's great. It must mean that we covered all the concerns that there were for now. But again, feel free to contact us anytime to ask for more questions or clarifications about this project, and we will keep you updated as we have a mailing list of everyone interested. And so just look for news from Magaya about ABI.
Yes, I just want to say that remember that this is the times to influence the design of the product. So if you have any concern, any pain point right now that you have with your current solution, we can probably address that with our solution. So it is the time to address all those questions and problems that you have with your current solution, or what would you like to see in an ABI solution.
Just one last words from myself. This is really exciting times, for us. especially the the Magaya users. So there's a lot of deep features that are going to be coming out, and this is just the beginning. There's a lot of more ideas that are going to be rolled out after the first iteration. So just stay tuned. Thank you.
All right, and we did have one more question come in from James asking to resend the link for the demo, and we can absolutely do that in a follow-up email to everyone on this webinar. So stay tuned, and thank you for attending today.